One of the deadliest pandemics in history, the Spanish flu of 1918, infected about 500 million people worldwide. India was its worst hit country with the death count reaching 10 to 20 million. Faced again by a pandemic, is there anything for India to learn from the Spanish flu in order to fight coronavirus this time? Let's watch in today's video. Schools and other buildings are converted into makeshift hospitals. Quarantine is imposed in many areas, public places are shut, people are wearing masks, avoiding handshakes and staying at home. Sounds very much like the condition of the world today after coronavirus outbreak. Well, this was the description of a scene from 1918 when Spanish flu hit the world. The Spanish flu pandemic was caused by influenza virus, which was a respiratory virus, and it spread in a similar way as coronavirus, through droplets from the nose or mouth of an infected person. Coming to India, let's now see how the virus entered India. It was a day in June of 1918 when a ship full of World War I soldiers hit the coastline in Bombay. Little did this unprepared colonized country knew that the virus the soldiers have got with them from the trenches of war front would leave more people dead than the war itself. Yes, it is reported that it was the military camp where the infection first began. But Britain, Germany, France and the US censored the news of the flu so as to maintain the morale of the soldiers. And only when it spread all over the world were the countries taken aback. When it came to India, it was considered as a normal flu until the cases became serious. Within a short span of time, the virus spread like wildfire. From Bombay, the railway lines carried it to different corners of the country, and in 3 weeks it reached Madras in the south and Allahabad in the north. Soon India became one of the worst hit countries and lost about 6% of its people to the flu. This is considered to be more than the total casualties in World War I. Let's see what was the condition of India then. Out of the total infected in India, undernourished women were more in number. Women living in unhygienic and ill-ventilated areas nursing the sick were more at risk than men. There was a time when the famous poet Suryakant Tripathi Nirala lost his wife to the flu, and he wrote that river Ganga has swollen up with dead bodies and there isn't enough firewood to even cremate the pile of dead bodies. This was followed by a failed monsoon which left many people underfed and caused a famine-like condition. People migrated to cities, aggravating the transmission of the flu. There were not enough doctors as many were in the war front and some were themselves down with the flu. The hospitals got overcrowded, people relied more on indigenous medication and nobody knew how to deal with it. The colonial authorities could not control the spread and made India accountable for it. They blamed the insanitary conditions of Indians. The officials went to live in the hills and left the pandemic on the hands of the province, as news reported. The people were asked to organize self-help. But what happened when the colonizers did not take up responsibility to control the flu? When nothing worked out, the citizens took it upon themselves to fight the pandemic together. Many volunteers joined the fight and anti-influenza committees were made. Money was raised to set up small dispensaries, arrange cremations, spread awareness, and distribute essential items in the affected areas. The citizens got together and helped the country fight the pandemic. A government report said, "Never before, perhaps, in the history of India, have the educated and more fortunately placed members of the community come forward in large numbers to help their poorer brethren in times of distress." This was the case about a century ago. But is there anything that is common in between the then pandemic and the one now? Even though those times were different than this time, but there are many similarities between the two pandemics in India which cannot be overlooked. The first one being the effect of both the viruses in the city of Mumbai. Back then, Bombay was the source of the infection, and even today the number of COVID-19 infected people in this most populous city of India is increasing day by day. Other similarities also include how the powerful countries hid the information about the virus initially, how both influenza and coronavirus are respiratory viruses, how they transmit in the similar manner, and most of the deaths caused by both the viruses then and now were due to overdrive of the immune response leading to organ failure. The World Health Organization has recently declared that the worst of coronavirus is yet to come. Even in the case of Spanish flu, the initial outbreak that happened in the beginning of the year mostly attacked those with weaker immune systems. But the second phase of the flu that came in late August killed the otherwise healthy 25 to 35-year-olds. It was shocking for the world to see the youth die in millions. We hope this pandemic doesn't turn out to be as deadly as the Spanish flu. And for that, we have to remember what that flu taught us 100 years ago. It taught us that more than an active government, active citizen support is necessary. Because Indians back then wouldn't have been able to fight Spanish flu had they left it over to the colonizers to handle. It's up to the citizens to follow all the government measures and take the right precautions. Staying indoors, maintaining physical distance with others, washing hands regularly, and covering mouth and nose while coughing or sneezing. Just by these measures, we can prove to be responsible citizens and save many lives. History has it that civilians play a key role in limiting deadly pandemics. So let's do our bit before it's too late. Stay tuned and keep watching Swaraj.